Good morning, guys. First off, I want to start this video out as saying that our favorite activist, Val, is still a political prisoner. And that needs to change desperately. What I want to talk to y'all today about is something that I've been thinking about for a while. I'm trying to set this camera up so I can do this. And what I want to say is very simple. Number one, this movement is growing. And there are a lot of new auditors coming out. And I have some videos myself with encounters of being pulled over because the only thing I have on the back of my truck here is a license plate from Arkansas, which is where I'm from, with the numbers cut out, no stickers, just says Arkansas. And I do that for a very particular reason. Anyway, there are a bunch of regulations that I believe that need to be implemented all the way across this entire country of ours. First and foremost, to help save the municipalities a great deal of money, because it seems that getting insurance does nothing more than give the police department, sheriff's department, notice that they can violate anybody's rights, and if anybody sues, then they have the money via the insurance to take care of it, so they don't have to worry about it. So here's what I have planned. And y'all tell me what you think down in the comments. The country, sorry about the camera, guys. I haven't quite got a really good mount yet in my truck, and I am working on that. Anyway, I believe first and foremost that by 2019, we should do everything that we can do to propose a bill that every officer, no matter who you work for, county, state, doesn't matter, needs to carry their own insurance. That will relieve
in half a mile,
some of the burden that is happening, as well as qualified immunity needs to be redacted, because it only gives those power-hungry asswipes of authority reasons to break more laws that they themselves have been entrusted by us, the citizens, to enforce. But at the moment, they can break any law they want, and they have qualified immunity. That's wrong. 2, they should be sworn statements that they make on their police reports, that if they are caught tampering with evidence, because that is evidence, and they are basically misrepresenting it with their lies, and then going to court, standing on their police report, when 100,000 times a year it shows that the video shows that they are lying, and the people get off, and the cops don't get any punishment. Now, if you or I did that, a judge would immediately see that that is wrong and they would throw us in jail. Another thing that I believe should happen is that every police department, sheriff's department, state trooper, whatever, even the Fish and Wildlife, all of them, need to have a citizens review board. And that every time one of these sovereign citizens gets a complaint against them, because by the way, we all know that a sovereign citizen means that you do not have to abide by any laws of that particular place where you are. And that is basically defining what law enforcement is today. Sovereign citizens. They can break the laws and don't have any recourse or reaction. Nothing happens to them. But this is what I suggested, and I think that if we could get this going across the nation, it might gain some speed. And on this citizen review board, if a cop receives a complaint that at the end of that shift he is put on desk duty until the citizen review board has carried out their duty, investigated the complaint, and then either say that there was no complaint or there was and it was just minimal, so the officer should get 3 days suspended without pay, 10 days suspended without pay, 30 days suspended without pay. And if it is even more egregious than that, let's say a rights violation, that should be immediately not sent to the AIB of that precinct. No. That needs to be sent to the state's Attorney General's office with a high recommendation for indictment. Now, if the review board finds that nothing happened, that officer can go right back on duty, no problem. Another couple things I think that really need to happen, and that is that every year, every law enforcement officer should be required to go through psychological evaluation, as well as a very strict physical evaluation. I know it's mostly a joke about cops and donuts, but I have seen a lot of cops on these videos that I don't think even Jenny Craig could help them. And what happens then is that because these officers are to the point to where they are considered obese, then they need to basically get a chance to lose the weight or they lose their job. And the reason that is because it's stressful enough. Don't get me wrong. There are good cops out there. But the problem is that these cops, the good ones, they see bad things happening, other cops crossing that line, and they say and do nothing. Nothing. So I have another idea about that. Let's say that if an officer gives a complaint about another officer, he can stay anonymous and allow the Citizen Review Board to look at it and investigate it with the same powers that the district attorney has. Not that they can say it's time to indict, but they must have the exact investigative powers that the district attorney has, so that they can investigate this situation. And basically, you know, these people, I know there's enough people across the country that hate when they have to go do jury duty, but let's also pick a citizens review board that they do for 30 days, 60 days. Hell, with the social networking the way it is, they can be chosen. They come in, they, you know, sign the paperwork, do what they have to do, and if some of them have the jobs that they just can't afford to be there to do it, then allow them the network skills to be able to still attend their job as well as investigate these complaints. And they can do it online. They can have investigators charged with going out and finding the truth. And I'm sure there are a lot of citizens out there, especially these activists, that would love a chance to be able to investigate the corruption in our country. Now, finally, last but not least, I know everybody's going to scream this is unconstitutional, but you see, the police unions across this country have gotten too big. They're too powerful. It's time that they be disbanded. I believe that officers should have legal representation when a complaint is filed against them.
In 2 miles,
But when...
take the exit on the right.
Thank you, dear, my other wife. But when these officers, they get their legal representation, the unions, whether this officer is completely 100% in the wrong or not, these unions come in and they push and they strike, and they've got these high-paid lawyers, and they basically push to get that officer reinstated, when the totality of it is that he should be in prison. So these unions have to end and not be changed to a different name or this or that. They have to be completely disbanded. The leaders of the police unions need to retire and be no longer. Now, I've been watching a lot of great videos lately, and I'm learning a lot, which is a lot to say about this old man. And this us versus them mentality is not only spreading to that blue line, but it's almost spreading with the activists. Let's remember this, guys. We're all humans. Black, white, green, orange, doesn't matter. We're all humans. And we're all here for a reason. Let's keep activism the way that it needs to be. Unregulated, but very, very powerful. The people in this movement have almost become
In a quarter of a mile,
more than
take the exit on the
my
right.
own family. There's a lot of things going on that I see, and I've been there.
Take the
I went to
exit on the
Almost
right.
Park, and I'm going to Leon Valley on the 21st. Doesn't matter to me if I'm the only one there. I'm still going. I'm going to redress my government and I'm going to explain to them the situation. And then there are some other things that really need to be taking place.
In 1,000 feet,
And those
turn
things
left.
need to be talked about in
turn
private,
left.
about some other issues that are going on right now. Because I see a trend happening. And what that is that when you're an activist and you start to expose the truth, much like the investigative journalists of the past, the Watergate case was broken by investigative reporters, not law enforcement. And that's what we need to turn to be. Now, luckily, then, they had a format, a place where they could take their investigations and show them to the public. And the public outcry called for those particular investigations to happen, and next thing you know, man, Nixon's impeached. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm not liberal. I'm not anything. What I am is a citizen, a concerned citizen. I'm concerned the path that my country is taking. Government is getting too big. You know, when I was younger, I was under the impression that this was a free country to move about freely. And as I grew older, I grew wiser. And if the government could figure out a way to tax the air that we breathe, they would. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that is the only thing that you can do in this country for free, is breathe. Everything else costs you money. I want you all to please remember these immortal words. And I've heard them so much now that they basically are ingrained in my brain. And that is to stay safe, know your rights, defend your rights. Always film the police and every encounter you have with our government. Mr. Turner made it possible for us to be able to film them anytime, any place, as long as they're not in the confines of their comfy little home. So as soon as I get a laptop that I can deal with and a better camera than my phone, I'm going to go out and start doing some different type of auditing. And you'll find that out when I get doing it. It'll be my little niche in. And I'm going to hopefully expose the truth and open some more eyes on a different section and a different part of what is actually happening behind the scenes. You see, I want our country to be as one with each other.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left.
We can't be like it is now and continue to grow. The consciousness of this country needs to step up. And we need to put the people that are breaking laws behind bars So they can't do that anymore. So, stay safe. Know your rights. Always film. Good God Almighty, always film. I'm out.